Hello and welcome. All of us use the X Windows system to view graphical applications on our desktop machines. And most of you know that X was first designed to be used as a networking protocol for graphical applications. The concept is great, but if you have ever tried using X over a network, especially a network that is not very fast, you will find that the protocol is almost unusably slow. Here's a screenshot of me trying to view a PDF document over a LAN connection with X tunneling over SSH. The window is very slow to redraw, and scrolling the document is so slow that the scroll tab is actually lagging behind the mouse. There is so much network congestion that the document isn't even able to display. I even had to click the X to close the window 3 times. This is because X is very thorough about the data it sends, but not very smart. Nearly all the display and input data that can be sent will be sent, and there is no caching or compression technology at work. What this means is that X runs great in the confines of your machine, but slows to a crawl over all but the fastest LAN networks. Luckily, there are other options. VNC is a popular one because it is completely open source, compatible with any platform, and very fast. VNC by itself, however, is very insecure, and special precautions need to be taken whenever it is used. It also doesn't look amazing. Because with VNC only image data is passed back and forth, the remote screen often shows artifacts or pixelization, and the VNC applications are poorly integrated into the client environment. The best option available for deploying remote desktops or remote graphical applications from a Linux server is NX. Here's a screenshot of me using NX over the same network connection. The one thing I enjoy doing on Windows computers is connecting to remote Linux machines. As you can see, the scrolling works fine and the document is able to display. The libraries behind NX are open source, and the company that played a big hand in developing those libraries, No Machine, offers a proprietary server and client. The client is free as in beer and comes in Linux, Windows, Mac, and Solaris flavors. NX also offers a free as in beer server, but it only supports up to 2 simultaneous users. A more functional server is available for purchase at a hefty price. Here's how it works. First, I will give a brief overview of the traditional X networking model. 2 machines are connected by a network, and they both have an X server installed. One machine, that we'll call the server machine, hosts an application. This application is, inexplicably, known as the client application. Another machine, that we'll call the client machine, connects to the server machine via Telnet or SSH. The client then starts the application, and since the X servers are connected, the visual data is passed over the network and displays on the client machine. Input data from the client machine is passed back to the client application so that it can respond accordingly. The client application fits seamlessly into the environment of the client machine, and if you have a great network or aren't using a graphics-intensive application, then you may not even be able to realize that you are not using a locally hosted application. Sometimes you just need more speed, and this is when you need NX. The NX server acts as a middleman between the X server on the server machine and the NX client on the client machine. The NX server and the NX client together provide compression and smart caching of the X data, so that there is significantly less redundant data to clog the network connection. Applications, even over slow commodity internet networks, are very fast and completely transparent over LAN. And thanks to a project called FreeNX, a functional and unhindered server is available to the open source community. It uses the open source libraries from NX but creates its own server software. My original intent for this week was to use the Free as in Freedom server for this demonstration, but I was unfortunately unable to get it working. I think I can get it working with some shell script hacking, but that is for another day. So for this demonstration, I will be using No Machine's proprietary server. Even Richard Stallman has said that it's okay to use a proprietary product if there are no open source alternatives. And I will assume that he'd forgive me for using the proprietary server that couldn't get the open source version to work. Do please visit FreeNX's website and try to get FreeNX working on your box. It's pretty easy if nothing goes wrong. So today I will show how to set up the No Machine NX server so you can access your Linux application securely over a network or deploy software for your business without Citrix or a Windows server, God forbid. Installation is very easy. We need 3 tarballs from nomachine.com, the NX client, NX node, and NX server. We can see the files here that we need. All 3 should be extracted into the user directory as root, like this. When that is done, you need to navigate to the nx/script/setup directory and run 2 installation scripts, NX node and NX server. Both need to be invoked with the -- install switch and the name of the distribution you are using, which is one of Debian, Mandrake, Red Hat, SUSE, and Fedora. If you are using another distribution like I am, things get a little messy because you need to go in and manually change the script to fit your distribution. For instance, Slackware stores its list of run-level services in a different directory than Debian, so I had to change that in the code myself. Next, we are going to go to the other computer on the LAN, which happens to be a Windows box, and configure PuTTY to connect to the Linux laptop. And we are going to log in. And now we have successfully logged into the laptop via SSH. Now we will start the Windows NX client from nomachine.com. And we're going to hit configure to make sure the IP and port are right for the SSH service on the laptop. Then we're going to choose custom settings and choose run a console. Now we're going to log in. And as you can see, the NX connection was successfully started. Now we can go back to our SSH window and become the super user, and we're going to go to the nx/bin directory to see what display NX has allocated for us. As you can see, in our case it's 1001. We need to export that display variable so other applications know where our NX client has attached to. And now we can run any graphical application as if it was local. As you can see, the applications are seamlessly integrated into our system. Printing and audio are also integrated seamlessly if you configure them to be. It is also easy to start an entire self-contained desktop session with NX, so you can feel right at home in a world with walls and fences. Let's go back to the Linux box and connect to the NX server from Linux. Unfortunately, I don't have a second Linux box to connect to, so it'll have to suffice to connect to localhost. Obviously, you would put the IP or domain name of your server instead. This is the console we asked NX to launch. If we want to launch other applications, we're going to have to go and find our display variable, just as we did on the Windows box. And as you can see, it's working perfectly. I hope I have convinced you of the value of this technology, and I urge you to try out the free NX server before the proprietary one to see if it fits your needs. Hopefully now you see how useful this technology is, and may give it a thought before defaulting to Citrix. Thanks for watching.